Hello, my name is Shadow X, and today we're doing What If Naruto Was Adopted by Orochimaru Part 5. Once the meeting had finished, Naruto and Karin summon the dragons, then Naruto starts to fly towards the hidden leaf. It takes 2 hours for Naruto and Karin to arrive at the village gates. Then Naruto and Karin start to walk through the gates, and then they are stopped by the guard saying, "You are 2 wanted ninja and you're under arrest." After the guard says this, Naruto says, "We used to be, when we were being controlled by Orochimaru." The guard says, "You're being controlled." Then Naruto moves back his cloak and shows a faded curse mark and says, "I hope this is proof enough." Then the guard says, "Why have you come here?" And Karin responds saying, "We have come to see your Hokage, Lady Tsunade." The guard believes Naruto and starts to take them to the Hokage's office. When they arrive, they knock on the door and Tsunade says, "Come in." Naruto and Karin head to the office and say, "Lady Tsunade, we know you're Hashirama Senju's granddaughter, so I hope you know about the old alliance between the Leaf and the Uzumaki." Tsunade says the Uzumaki village was destroyed. Then Naruto responds saying, "We've rebuilt it, and we've gathered all the remaining Uzumaki left around the world. So we would like to restart the alliance between our 2 villages." Tsunade says, "I know you were here when Orochimaru attacked." Then Naruto shows Tsunade his faded curse mark and says, "Orochimaru was controlling both of us until I discovered that when the 9 tails was sealed within me when I was born, he stole me away from my dead parents, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki." When hearing that Minato is his father, Tsunade says, "I'm sorry you went through that. So as the leader of the Hidden Leaf, I am restarting the alliance between the Leaf and the Eddies." Then they go to do paperwork. After all of this, Naruto summons a small dragon and says it has a scroll within it. Tsunade opens the scroll with a location of the village and a key to open the sealing formula. After Naruto explains everything that she needs to know, after Naruto dispels a small dragon, and then says, "Lady Tsunade, I would like you to come to our village in 2 weeks." Naruto and Karin say goodbye and head out of the village and summon their dragons to head back home. 2 weeks have passed, and Naruto has rebuilt the whole village. Naruto knows that this is the day that the 5th Hokage is meant to arrive, so Naruto cleans his office and says to Karin, "I need you to seal the library so no one can get in it. I need you to seal it so no one can get in it. Then once the Leaf leave, I want you to unseal it." Karin says, "Okay, my lord," then heads out. Naruto puts on his leader cloak and heads to the gate to waiting for Tsunade. Naruto is waiting 1 hour at the gate. When Tsunade arrives, she says, "You've done well rebuilding this village. Out of curiosity, how many villages do you have?" Then Naruto says, "Well, a lot of us were killed. So including myself and Karin, we have 32 full Uzumakis." Naruto says to Lady Tsunade, "Please follow me to my office." After they arrive at the office, Naruto says, "Please sit down, because I would like to talk about your family history." Tsunade says to Naruto, "Why?" And Naruto says, your grandmother was Mito Uzumaki, the wife of your son, Kushina Uzumaki, who is my mother. So this makes you my grandmother. But the reason I brought you here today, because there's some history between our 2 clans that I want you to know." Naruto grabs a scroll from the safe. Then Naruto tells Tsunade to read this. After Tsunade reads this, she understands the second reason he called her here today. That Naruto wants a trade route and a business relationship between the Leaf. Tsunade says, "I agree." Then Naruto says, "I'll take you back to the Leaf then." Naruto and Tsunade head out of the village. Then Naruto summons Fafnir and says to Tsunade, "We're going to fly back to the Leaf." In the middle of the flight, Some stone ninja try to kill Naruto, but Naruto activates his adamantine chain, piercing all the stone ninja who try to attack him. When they arrive back in the leaf, Tsunade heads back to the office. When they arrive back into leaf, Naruto takes Tsunade back to the office. Then Naruto says, "Can I have the key to unlock the fourth Hokage's coffin? Because I would like to say something to my father." Tsunade understands that Naruto has never actually seen his father, so she gives him the key and says, your mother's body is there also. Then Naruto is heading out of the Hokage's building. They're stopped by a pink-haired girl who tries to punch Naruto, but Naruto activates his chain, stopping her completely. Then Naruto says, "Do you want to start a war?" After Naruto says this, Tsunade rushes out of her office and sees Sakura try to attack Naruto and shouts, "Why are you such an idiot, Sakura? If you attacked him, you could have started a war with a very powerful clan who we have just formed an alliance with." When hearing this, Sakura says, "What do you mean?" Then Naruto says, "If you ever try anything else, I'll have my summoning deal with you." Then Naruto leaves to head to the fourth grave. Cutting back to Tsunade, who says, "I'm revoking your ninja license." Then also says, "Just because you don't know the person doesn't mean they're an enemy. And you are forbidden from doing ninja work, so I'm assigning you to the hospital corps." When arriving at the fourth Hokage's head, Naruto sees an Uzumaki seal on the door. So Naruto does 10 hand signs and says, "Uzumaki seal release." Naruto walks into the head and opens a scroll and seals both of the graves inside of it. Then Naruto exits the head and summons Fafnir and heads back home. When arriving home, Naruto heads to the mask warehouse and grabs the devil. Naruto goes home to find Karin waiting on the sofa for him. Then Naruto says to Karin, "Would you like to see my parents?" And Karin says, "Aren't they dead?" Then Naruto responds saying there's a way around that. Then Naruto creates one blood clone. Then that blood clone puts on the Reaper mask and does the reverse hand signs for the Reaper death seal. So the Reaper appears and grabs his knife from his mouth and cuts open his stomach, releasing the souls of Minato, Kushina, and Mito Uzumaki. Then Naruto creates one more blood clone and does the reanimation jutsu on all three of them. When Kushina arrives, she rushes up to Naruto and gives him a hug, saying, "I love you, Naruto." Then Naruto says, "I love you too, Mum." Then Minato says, I've wanted to see you for a long time, Naruto." Then Minato says, "What's that headband you're wearing?" Then Mito says, "Sorry to interrupt, but that's the headband of the village hidden in the eddies." Then Naruto says, "I've gathered all of the remaining Uzumaki together, and we are rebuilding the village." Then Kushina says, "Wait, what?" But Naruto says, "Follow me down to the library." Then Karin says, "You're amazing, Naruto." Then Kushina says, "Naruto, who is this?" And he says, "Oh yes, this is my girlfriend, Karin." Then Kushina hugged Karin and saying, "You're beautiful." Then Naruto opens the hidden door, and when they walk down the stairs to the gate, Naruto and Karin activate their chains, unlocking the library. This is where I'm going to end off part 5 of What If Naruto Was Adopted by Orochimaru. I've been Shadow X, hope you enjoyed.